Platinum. Oh, it's the ugly duckling of the precious metal world, isn't it? Often seen as inferior to gold, but once it was king of the hill. Will it ever get to the point of being a beautiful swan again? Time will tell. But for now, we can but only talk about it and see if there are some fundamental shifts and changes ahead which might make platinum more valuable than gold again. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble. We're going to talk today about the ugly duckling of the precious metal world, and that is platinum. Once it was king of the hill, worth more than gold, but now it is worth less. That doesn't mean it's worthless, but it is certainly an interesting metal to have a look at. Maybe one day this ugly duckling will go back to being a beautiful swan and become top of the precious metal charts again. How likely that is of course down to a lot of the industrial demand and also bigger geopolitical reasons. A lot of platinum comes out of Russia, for example. So with that in mind, I want to talk about platinum, whether or not it's something that we should be considering as sackers, how much maybe we should be getting, and also some experiences that I've had in buying and also, more importantly, selling platinum. Because we can sit here and buy as much platinum as we want, but if you want to exit from owning platinum, how easy is that to do? Can you do it? Is it something that dealers will perhaps buy? There are loads of different things to factor in, and we hope that you enjoy it as we go throughout this video. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you are enjoying our little commentary on this ugly duckling metal. So first up, there's 13 ounces of platinum here on the table. That does not represent the Backyard Bullion platinum stack. I don't have 13 ounces of platinum. I have about 5 in my stack, and I do think there's a place for it. These Platinum Britannias that you see here are actually owned by somebody else who sent them to me to help him sell them. So they are for sale, although these 6 are already sold. So we have 7 that are for sale. So if you are interested in this as a viable alternative perhaps to gold or silver, then get in touch. All of the details and information is down in the description below. I do want to put my caveat here. I'm going to be talking a lot about some of the positives of platinum, but it would be remiss of me to say, even if you are interested, really do have a good hard think about how you might exit from buying platinum in the future, because it is not an easy metal to sell. You have very limited price point options when you go to dealers, for example, and you probably will be looking at essentially the spot price of platinum if you were to take it to a dealer. Now, of course, the big problem with that is that it comes with VAT when you buy it from a dealer. So you are automatically, like silver, 20% plus in the hole, and often there's a little bit of a premium on it as well. So it's usually maybe 25 to 30% over spot price to buy. So that is in itself one of the biggest barriers to investment platinum. But in the bigger picture, I've always thought that there's this potential for platinum to grow bigger and further than gold. Now that comes in one of 2 different ways, and right now I feel that gold is very high in its price point. You've only got to look at the charts for the Great British Pound to really see that gold is at this high. Now, of course, for the US dollar, gold is not at a high, and platinum is relatively cheap, but gold maybe seems like the better option. But for us in the UK, I feel that there is this moment that we could see gold dropping in price, and then what's the alternative? Well, we've got 2 real main alternatives. That's platinum or silver. Platinum has, in my opinion, the potential for some uptrending in terms of its price points when you price it against those other metals, those ratios. Of course, the correction to it being worth more than gold, don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. It could maybe happen if there's more sort of industrial unit to sort of discoveries about what we could actually use it for. But generally speaking, its heyday as that king of industrial metals within the automotive sectors, which ultimately was driving its humongous price points, has gone in favour of palladium. But there are bigger picture geopolitical things which are at play here, and when you factor in the simple fact that palladium is expensive right now, platinum less so expensive, maybe companies that use palladium will be thinking, hey, hang on, maybe we should have something that's less expensive. Now, there are other bigger picture things going on about the supply and demand. Supply and demand is, of course, one of the most important things for any commodity. The more supply there is and the less demand will influence the price. Or, in fact, if the supply is low and the demand is high. One of the big issues around the world is, of course, Russia. Now, without getting too political about the whole situation, we cannot avoid the fact that whilst there is plenty of gold and silver in the world, there is not a lot of platinum. There's a fair amount that comes out of the ground. We're talking, hundreds of thousands. Well, I think it's about 200,000 ounces a year. Sorry, 200,000 kilos a year. So a lot of ounces of platinum come out of the ground. But did you know that over 40% of the world's palladium supply comes from Russia? If that was to be less favourable or less viable for various different countries and institutions and embargoes, then maybe platinum will go up so high in price, because again, the supply is low, demand is still high, that platinum will be that alternative which will drive it up. Now, Russia also has a significant stake in the production of platinum in the world, about 11 or 12%, but the main supplier in the world is South Africa, and it is doing pretty well. There's a lot of platinum coming out from South Africa, so the supply is quite good at the moment, but there is a surplus which is falling. So there is potential, I feel, for platinum to have some movements going forwards. Now, the big crux, as I said, is about the selling of it, and I can only but share my experiences of selling platinum. And the easiest way to talk about the sale of platinum, I think, is to compare it to gold. Now, gold is just the most liquid thing that you can possibly sell. As any precious metal enthusiast will tell you, you can go to pretty much any dealer, any pawn shop, and they'll be more than happy to take gold, and they'll give you a pretty good price, if not spot. In fact, at the moment, some UK dealers are paying above spot for gold because just the massive major demand right now for it. Platinum is different. Platinum is not something that a lot of dealers will take, because investment platinum in the form of coins is not necessarily very popular, and you don't get people stacking it. And of course, there are obvious reasons why. It's very difficult to sell, and it's this kind of compounded catch-22. It's difficult to sell, so therefore people don't want to buy it. Therefore, it's difficult to buy because there's not very much of it out there. And that, I think, is the kind of catch-22 crux. So if you think that platinum is something that's undervalued and underpriced right now and you want to buy it, you're really left with one option, and that's buying it from a dealer. You can get potentially a few deals, like, for example, the ones here will be completely open and transparent. The seller is looking for 1,050 a coin. The price of platinum as a spot price value is about £830 an ounce right now. So that's a premium on top of it. But when you look right now at the vast majority of dealers, they're asking 1,100 plus or more in some cases. And in a lot of cases, they don't have any in stock at all. So what I find interesting is that even though there is this premium attached to it, people are still willing to buy platinum and take that gamble, take that risk. How much platinum should you buy, though? Now, the gentleman that's selling these platinum coins, as I said, I've helped him sell probably about 75 of these platinum coins to date. That's a big platinum stack. He's obviously made some decisions in his life which have led him to buy a very large quantity of platinum, and that's fine. But I think he was hit with this stark reality of not being able to liquidate all of the ounces of platinum that he had very quickly, which is why we're helping and why he got in contact with us. And I like to think that we're doing kind of a middleman job, but at a better price than dealers would. So we are, of course, trying to get the seller a better price than he would if he took it to a dealer. He's looking to get that uplift compared with liquidating, but he's also, I think he's a very savvy chap. He's also very well aware that if he just goes to a dealer, he's going to essentially cut his nose off to spite his face. So he's putting some extra work in. He's putting faith in us as a sort of precious metal intermediary to get these sold, and we're offering, of course, a slightly better price than those that dealers offer. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to offer them at spot price to make it competitive. I think there is still a lot of room for platinum as a private investment. I've got some within my stack. I don't think it's the kind of metal that you should go out and buy hundreds of ounces of, like this gentleman, unless, of course, you've got significant holdings that you want to just be happy to sit on. But it does represent, I think, an interesting potential alternative to gold right now, and potentially even to silver. I have talked about its alternatives as a sort of precious metal stacking option. I do think it's something that, if you've got a decent amount of gold, and we're talking like maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 ounces, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with having an ounce of platinum. It's something that I think does hold its premium, does hold its value. All you've got to do is look at the evidence that I've got here. We've actually had 14 in from him, 13 on the table. 1 was shipped out yesterday, but it being the weekend, we didn't ship out the 6 that we've separately sold in the space of 24 hours. So they do go, and they do go for good prices. And I think if we see platinum start to creep up, or that ratio between platinum and gold come down, that it will still be valuable and it will still be desirable. And maybe even, if we go back to my original analogy, maybe even one day it will become that beautiful swan again instead of the ugly duckling. We'll have to wait and see. But those are my thoughts on platinum. Now, as I said, to be completely open and transparent, there's probably a little bit of bias in this video because I'm trying to sell some platinum, but I don't want you to rush out and email me and say, I want to buy platinum because I saw your video. Have a really good, long, hard think about if and why you do want to buy platinum. What are the reasons why? Are you willing to hold it? Are you willing to put in the work at the other end to maybe sell it on the second-hand market, take the time to do so, and also potentially have to hold it for a while until you get that return? And if all of the answers to those questions are yes, and you are interested, then please feel free to email me. My email is in the description below, and we can link up and get it all sorted. So there are my thoughts on platinum. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then hit the thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, then hit the subscribe as well. Otherwise, a big thank you to all my Backyard Bullion ramblers who have listened to the back end of my video. You are the cool kids club, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. We'll see you down in the comments. Otherwise, that's it from me. Have a great week ahead, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.